Yo, 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 yo. This is DJ Brainstorm on the mic with you right now, coming to you with a new episode of the DMST Conversations podcast. Sitting here with Eulise again. Eulise, what's going on?
I don't know why the yo give me amp, but it do.
I don't know. Could it? I know you was at brunch. Did you have drinks at brunch? That could be getting you hype right now too.
Continued drinks.
Is that mimosas in the glass or something?
Patron in they house, straight up.
Uh,
Whew.
I was gonna ask you too. Who is going to brunch at dinner time? It was about 3:45. You were still at brunch. That is dinner time for some people.
Is it? I'm
Yes.
sorry. No, I'm blessed, healthy, and wealthy per usual. Like I'm really feeling like a lot better considering the last few weeks. So because we haven't recorded in a minute,
Probably about
and
2 months,
yeah,
coming up on 2 months,
yeah.
because I was getting ready to go out of town. At the very least, yeah, yeah. So it was had to be early March the last time we
Mm-hmm.
probably did an episode, and this what
Mm-hmm.
early April, early May now.
Mm-hmm. I would say late February for real.
You know what?
Because you had your birthday. We talked after your birthday, I wanna say, and then it was
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. And the birthday's on the
yeah,
9th. Yeah, yeah. Um,
I wanna say February.
it could have been. It honestly could have been. Either way, we gonna give it a smooth 2 months. We gonna give it a smooth 2 months.
We gonna round
Uh,
up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Might as well. Might as well. But again, once again, everyone, thank y'all for tuning back in. I know we're trying to keep this thing going, our DMST brand going. We're trying to still grow this whole thing out.
Not trying to, we're
Um,
doing.
yeah, and keeping it working. So for everybody that has been tuning in and checking out the shows, we do want to thank y'all. It's on a Sunday. It's about 5 o'clock on a Sunday. Game 7 Sunday. If by Tuesday when the show comes out, I'll be happy because the Cavs are in the second round, or pissed because everything done went to hell. In a matter of about
I'm
a week
hoping
and a
for
half.
happy. I'm
Yeah. So
hoping for happy.
yeah. So we'll see. So I'll actually go. Well, yeah, I'll go first and just say just talking about what's been going on,
Yeah, what's been going on
whatever.
with you? We gotta catch up.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's shit, 2 months. I mean, my life stays simple. I say that all the time. My life is simple, so really ain't a ton going on that I can say. I
But you had a
outside of,
birthday.
I mean, yeah, the birthday back in February. Since that time, when the wife and I, we took a trip, for my birthday. We did a cruise because I haven't been on a cruise in like 10 or 11 years.
How was that?
So the cruise was nice, actually. It was. I mean, when you go in March, when you leave out of Ohio in March, you're definitely probably gonna go somewhere that's warmer. So it was cool. We took off from Miami, so we went down to Miami on a Saturday. It was hell because I DJ'd the Friday night, so I didn't get home till after midnight, and then had to be back up at like 2:30 because we had a really really early flight out of here to get to Miami. Because flying out of Cleveland is ass right now because we don't, yeah, especially with Spirit going down too. I never flew Spirit, but it's just like we just don't have that many options up here. We're not a hub, so you don't get that many connecting. I mean, straight flights. Most flights are connecting, so flying out of here is just ass. Like it's just I fly early because I choose to. I don't ever want to take chances of something happening and your flight get canceled. The earlier you get out, you usually gonna be able to get out pretty smooth. So we had like about a 6 o'clock flight out of here. Went to Miami, spent the day in Miami, um, and then the cruise left on Sunday morning, so we did that. Um, got back in Ohio on Saturday, and then we was back home. So the cruise was dope.
How many
Um,
days?
sits, sits. So that's it's the longest one I've been on. And I think that's a match for me. I mean, I mean, there are people who are cruise enthusiasts, and they do like I watch their videos on YouTube, and they're out there, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, and they get off and then get right back on another one, and they'll be in cruise for 2 to 3 weeks in a row. And I'm just like, it's so tough when you're in those rooms in those cabins and you run out of space, and yeah, I mean, you're living out of a suitcase and all of those types of things. So it's really tough. Like I can see myself doing a 6 day cruise again. Um, but yeah, I can see myself doing. But I wouldn't mind doing. I can see myself doing maybe one or two more in life, because I actually enjoy them. I know a lot of people don't. They don't want to be in the water, but I actually enjoy them. But I do want to go on. I do want to one time get on like the really really big ones, like one of the real massive ones, just once. But the cruise ship we were on was it was a nice size. It wasn't
What
one of
cruise
those ones
line?
that We did Carnival because Carnival is a crazy party one. That's the one you're gonna go on if you want to have more of a good time. I know you can do other ones, even though I want to try Virgin
Hmm.
because they do like the adult cruises where it's definitely no kids around.
I seen
So
that too, and I'm like, I probably do that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
never
So
did
we
one before.
so we said we might do that one next time we get on one. Just because the kids weren't outrageous on our cruise, which is good. Carnival got that whole rap last year about all the stuff that was going on in the fights, and they act like that happens on every single cruise, and it doesn't. Was it a lot of teenagers and stuff? Yeah, but these kids they just live in their own world. They just walking around, and even though you look at them and shake your head, but they just walking around with phones, and it's same thing you see them doing now, walking around phone in their hand, oblivious to everything that's going on around them.
In their own little world.
Yeah, yeah. So the cruise was cool. Had some decent stops, and did that. Came home, and I just been working. That's the biggest thing that's really been going on. Just working. Still doing my DJ nights on Tuesday and Fridays. Um,
And I tried to come this past Friday, but
I wasn't even up there though.
I just could not get out. I did 4 days in a row,
Hmm.
and Friday is my third day, and it was
Hmm.
just like, mm-mm.
Yeah, I wasn't up there anyway on Friday because the Cabs were playing, and I stopped up there on Wednesday just to ask if they wanted me to come because it's already tight in there anyway at times.
Yes,
And then with the game being on, I'm like, all right, I knew it was gonna be people that's gonna want to hear the game. I can go to some places and DJ, they won't care. If it was a regular season game, they wouldn't care. But it's the playoffs, and
yeah,
I knew people wasn't gonna want to hear me in the background. Well, not even in the background because that music's loud in there. People weren't gonna want to hear me in there playing music and you trying to watch a game. So
yep,
I wasn't there on Friday. So I'll be back this coming Friday.
got you.
But yeah, that's it. I can't say that there's a bunch of stuff going on or a bunch of things to happen. That's it for me. Um, I said I give you the floor, to speak and let us know what's been going on and everything like that.
Well, I lost my mom March 13th, and I reached out to you, reached out to a couple other people, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And um, I do want to thank all of y'all. You, Playboy, Dev, all the people who know me through podcasting, like the response of that information. I appreciate because um we haven't talked as a collective in so long. However, each individual person um, you know, hit me up in acknowledgement because all of y'all know how big my mom was to me.
Hmm.
So I definitely want to, what I'm saying, thank all of y'all. You, Playboy, Dev, everybody from podcasting for, um, checking on me. Um, for people who don't know, like my mom has been like a very present and active and support to any and everything I've done all my life. I can't even say like since my dad passed when I was 17, all my life she supported me in everything. And I had already lost my father when I was 17. So losing my mom at 39 and having no parents left
Hmm.
and no family because I don't have any kids yet. I don't have a significant other right now. And it's just me. Um, it was heavy. It was heavy to say the least. Um, but I thank y'all for being patient with me. I look forward to Pod and R&B, hopefully before June. We'll see.
Yeah,
But
we running out of time for that.
no, I definitely appreciate y'all for, checking on me and supporting me and allowing me the time and space to kind of process this. And it's hard to start the process when you haven't really accepted it
Hmm.
because like I see my mom every Sunday. We record on Sundays. So it's like this new normal um is heavy to say the least. So I definitely want to make sure that y'all know how appreciative I am, how grateful I am. Um,
Yeah, most definitely.
it was heavy, so I definitely
Hmm.
appreciate y'all.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's I know run into people lately that's, asked me how you were doing. I'm like, well, last time I talked to her, she's doing okay. I'm like, but that term is
Yeah.
relative to what's going on. Like you can,
Mhm.
you can be doing okay for a Tuesday or whatever, but it's relative. And I'm like, I can't put myself in that position personally. A lot of things happen, and I could say, oh, I've been through that before, so I know I've handled it this way or something to that effect. But in this case, I can't put myself in your shoes in that position, so I can't say, oh, you should be feeling this way, or this is how I reacted to it, or this is how I handled it. So the most I can ever say is, well, she was doing okay when I spoke with her, or something like that. So I mean, everybody's still here,
Yeah, because if
and
I'm
even
not
like when it comes to
mistaken, everybody still got their mom. You the one that got the dad.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah, 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 both of my parents. I mean, and I always say, I mean, knock on wood. I mean, it's both in pretty decent health. I mean, no, they're older now. I mean, both of my parents are in their 70s now, um, but it's just you know relatively good health outside of just being older and you got things going on. But so I've had that conversations with my brothers before, just saying how we're lucky in that sense. But again, there are people that are here for you. I know people have asked me, so that's always been my response. When we were talking about the pod and over the last couple of months, I'm like, the pod will be here. We ain't going nowhere. We do this whenever you're ready. I mean, that's so far down the line of things of anything to do or whatever. And you sit down when you're ready to talk. I mean, this could either be something that this could be something that gives you another outlet, something else to do, another way to kind of just push some things out of you, or it could be something that you don't vibe with or anything. We don't know. You don't know until you start doing it again. So I'm like, let that all come as it comes. But outside of that, the most important thing is how you're feeling and stuff like that. Everything else is relative.
No, and I appreciate that because for men, for men, it's hard. I wouldn't say for you, and I really wouldn't say for Playboy or Div. It's kind of I guess a back pocket skill set when it comes down to emotional weight
Mm,
and the way y'all responded and reacted to the news. Um, it really meant a lot, and like although it doesn't seem like it was much for the way I process this type of situation, it definitely, like, stuck the landing. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm not the female that wants everybody around me or, like, the extra support and checking up on I really try to stay as normal as possible.
hmm
So, although it don't or may not seem like a lot, it was definitely, like it was definitely fitting. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So, shout out to y'all for being, very supportive, very available, and very patient. So
No, no problem. That's one
I
thing men
appreciate
have
y'all.
to do better, emotion wise. I mean, and we've been around. That I feel like, as weird as it is, I feel like Dev and Playboy are a little bit more emotionally open, especially Playboy. Playboy gonna show his emotions. Playboy, it ain't got
He done
no
cried on the
problem.
pod. Let's be for real.
Oh
Let's just
yeah,
rip the
I
band-aid
was
off.
gonna say, go
Let's rip the band-aid off. Playboy done cried on the
ahead.
podcast.
I was gonna say it, but yeah, I feel like, but and then on the opposite side of it, I think me and Dev maybe mirror a little bit more when it comes to stuff like that. But I do feel like they're more emotional beings in a sense, and maybe it's because they have daughters, and I think that kind of softens men up too when you have a little girl in your life. And I remember Dev said on the podcast once when he was talking, it was a football player, somebody in sports that was doing an interview on some show, and he was like, he was so glad he had daughters and not sons, because he was like, if he had sons, he just would have continued to be that rough person constantly all the time with them. But by having daughters, it just really softened him up to make him be like, yeah, I can't be this way with them. I can't talk to them this way and all those types of things. So maybe that's one of those things that they're able to tap into sometimes, um, that makes them, be a little bit more emotionally open than I am at times. I don't know. Mm.
No, I would say definitely being a parent gives you a different skill set because even in my case, when it comes down to just simple perseverance and just getting it done and, not procrastinating, not like we have a lot of leeway when it comes down to our timelines when we're not parents.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, it's like, okay, this is the window of opportunity. I gotta, what I'm saying, stick to landing because when this is gonna come back around. So I think that that gives us a little bit more, uh, I guess, slack because even as things was happening with my mom and her, final arrangements and everything like that, whatever, I'm like I, I don't have it in me to talk
Hmm.
to everybody, to communicate. Like it's some people who still don't even know my mom passed.
Yeah, I mean, I that I can understand. I mean, it just seems like there's so much going on. It would have to be so overwhelming that it's just like, yo, at some point you're just like, yo, I just can't. Like, no matter what, I just can't. And then, you know, it's probably so much on you because now you're having to take care of so many things and you're making arrangements and who knows where the help is actually coming from during that time. Um, so it's just I can understand wanting to be like, yo, I can't do this. I can't have this conversation. I can't go here with you. Or maybe it's some people you wanted to have a conversation with, but you knew that if you started talking to them, it was going to go a certain way because you know how they are. And then it's like, yo, I don't have that. And it's so again, those parts I can see and be like, okay, I can understand how you would feel that way or would react that way.
And it was like my mom was 72. So I'm focusing on making sure that her generation is in the known because I'm expecting people of my generation to be social media inclined to where they'll check like, okay, she let me
Hmm.
know that her mom passed. Let me make sure that I check for the updates. You know what I'm saying? And see like when is the
Yeah,
rate
yeah, yeah.
like and so it was such a back and forth and it happened so quick and 2 weeks is not a lot of time when you're dealing with so much. And she didn't have insurance. And so I'm trying to get money up. And that's another part of it that stressed me out because it had came to a point where they almost was going to postpone the arrangements because I didn't have enough money. So, I'm still paying on it. I got what I needed or whatever out of it, but I'm still paying on it. And even that is a to do. And you would think that with my mom being the youngest of 15, it wouldn't be as heavy because, the
Mhm.
saying many hands make the work light. But when it comes down to, I guess, more serious situations, some people show up, some people fold. And I was not prepared for certain people to fold in that moment, in that circumstance. And I had to still keep it moving because I let people know personally and individually that my mom had passed before they saw it on Facebook or social media, and I'm still left on red for people
Mhm.
who I did not expect to leave me on red, knowing who and how much my mom meant to me. So that was an adjustment as well in the middle of trying to accept and process such a heavy life change. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's the reason why I have to be vocal and have to make people know around me who showed up that I appreciate that because people that I didn't expect to fumble did. So it may seem like, oh, it's nothing, like I showed up, but like I really am grateful for the people who showed up and showed out because they really showed up and showed out for me
Nah, I
and
get it.
still are.
So yeah. So obviously RIP to your mom and I've got to meet her. I'm trying to think how many times because
Her birthday,
I know I did her birthday. I DJ her birthday
mhm.
party the one time, but has she come to an event or something before too
Yes,
that
a
I was
couple
at?
comedy shows
Okay,
that you was at, yeah,
okay, okay.
yep.
So I know I've gotten to meet her more than once.
And then
Um,
if I'm not mistaken, I wanna say that y'all came to her 70th birthday show or 70th birthday when I was at Improv for her birthday. I wanna say y'all came to that. No?
yeah, I was at the Improv. Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Me and Carlisha came. Yeah, yeah.
yep. So for her
Okay,
70th,
yeah.
when you DJ for her and she's been to a couple shows, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Um, so again, I mean, this is something that hopefully people will still continue to be there for you. You know, you can always call me or Corlicia. You can come by for a meal or something, you know, uh, or
Yeah, I
something
know
like
what
that or
time dinner
whatever.
is ready because it usually be after the time we record.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But but again, as I said, I know I can't put myself in those shoes or anything like that. But it's if you ever need to talk, you can call or talk. We always home. You can give us a call. Hey, I just need to not be home. I need to be around some people or something like
Yeah.
that. You can always do anything like that, and just let us know.
No, and I appreciate more than y'all even more than words for I appreciate that because it really do be like the little simple things to where I'm not sitting by myself. And it may not even be a conversation about the situation, it's no just to
Hmm.
be in the environment. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Does so much justice. It do.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please know I appreciate y'all.
No, no problem, no problem. And so I know. So you've been getting back to work. Um, have
Hmm.
you done anything comedy lately?
Crazy thing is, um, I did a show the same day I buried my mom.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been able. Well, I mean,
A lot of people
Kev
ask me like, "What the fuck are you on?"
yeah, Kev on stage has been, he's been on like a million different podcasts this year, but I know he was
Mhm.
talking about for a stretch on some of those shows where I think he kind of said that on the day that he buried his brother, I think that he said that he wound up having a show to do that night or something like that. So I mean, it's just, I ain't gonna call it a distraction, but it's a change of pace.
Mhm.
It yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the oddest thing in the world, to be honest. I can look at it and just from the outside looking in, be like, okay, I can see it not being the oddest thing. Everybody's built different. Some people are gonna be like, no, if that happened to me, I'd be under a rock somewhere. I don't know how I would survive, and some people like that. Some people are like, oh, I got to keep working, I got to keep pushing, I got to keep moving. So I can see either side of it.
And it's really all those things because being honest with you, I had already booked certain events and shows prior to my mom's passing. So my mom passed March 13th, which was actually Friday the 13th, freaky ass Friday. And I had already been booked for a show the 15th, which was Sunday.
Hmm.
So my mom passed Friday. I had to go do a birthday show Sunday. And I'm just like, I'm not going to cancel anything I already committed to. That was my thing. So I had a birthday show
I
Sunday.
mean, but I'm pretty sure they would have understood. If they
They
didn't,
would
then
have,
they some
but
shitty
this was a
people.
private event that was paid like from the person booking me to me. If it would have been a showcase, a show where I'm just a part of a lineup,
Yeah.
then okay, I can kind of miss because I actually did drop out of a roast battle that Friday that I was supposed to do. I think it was the 20th. And then the 21st, I did Don't Tell. The 28th, which was actually my mom's funeral, I did Don't Tell again. And um,
Yeah, those were Saturdays. Yeah.
yep,
Okay,
there were
yeah, yeah.
Saturdays. And um I I kept those dates, like you said, as a distraction, but also to kind of practice keeping going. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Mhm.
And it's crazy because my closer for the 28th when I had buried my mom was pretty much like, and I'm just give you the short version, was pretty much like I didn't know that a shower could reset your emotions.
Mhm.
And I had talked about how like today is the day that I buried my mom, and everybody was looking at me like, "What the fuck is you doing here?" And
Mhm.
so then when I
They
went
probably
into the
thought it was
whole
a joke when you first said it.
and so when I went into the whole shower reset, people wasn't expecting. They really went from, "Oh my god," to laughing hysterically because I'm like, "You don't understand how a shower will reset your emotions because everybody like, you washing up, and you just like trying to get through it, trying to, process your emotions and that, whatever. But it's something about when you start to rinse off and you gotta rinse your booty hole.
Uh,
And you're sad rinsing your booty hole. You're like, look at your dumb. Like, it then immediately becomes comical that you're sad and you're rinsing your booty hole at the same time. So that was the factory reset. That was so like literally people went from, oh my God, she's here after burying her mom to like, you know what? I have rinsed my booty hole and look like a dumbass. Like, so it was like more
Comedians have a
relatable.
different way of viewing things. I don't. I just don't. It's just who would be in the moment thinking about, you know what? As I'm rinsing my booty hole, why am I sad
Everybody gotta
about it?
you gotta rinse your booty hole. You gotta rinse
Yeah.
it.
I mean, but you could have came up with any body part, but that's the one that popped into your mind. You
Cause
could have
think
been like,
about
you
it,
know,
you
when
be
you
sad the whole shower. Like you be sad the whole shower washing up. And you rinsing off, you hit your shoulder, hit the other shoulder, you know. But when you turn around and that water is cascading down your back,
okay, okay,
and you got to get a little bit of a different positioning and leverage to
yeah.
rinse
See,
all the soap out of your nether regions. Because I don't care what nobody say. You gotta kind of expose the cheeks a little bit when you washing up, both
you
washing
know,
and rinsing.
you know what's funny? I remember being in high school, like my 11th grade year, and somebody brought that up in class one day. Like, this is teenage talk or whatever, I guess. But
Uh-huh.
somebody's like, "Oh, just being in the shower, like, oh, do you do this?" I guess almost like what comedians will say nowadays, like, "Oh, do you dig up in there and do you do all these things or whatever?" And it's like, who even thinks about that to ask somebody those types of questions? But everybody got to wash their ass though, and I'm pretty sure everybody got a different technique that they use to do it though.
Listen, because what do you do? Do you
I'm not sharing my my, my booty cleaning practices on this podcast. I know we ain't recorded in 2 months, but I am not sharing my booty cleaning practices on this. And look, I will share them with
booty
Kolisha
cleaning
first.
practices is crazy.
Before I will share them with Kolisha first before I share them with the rest of the world.
Because
And she
like,
better
if
not
people
ask me.
don't know, if this is your first DMST conversations, tune in. People don't know. Brainstorm is so buttoned up. You will
That's
not
a
know
lie.
nothing about this man that he do
That
not
is a
want you to
lie.
know.
Okay,
Like,
that's true.
I'm about to say, am I lying?
Yeah, yeah, like you said, if I don't want you to know, yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, for you to be so buttoned up and even acknowledge how you're not going to share your your
Mm,
booty cleaning practices.
mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope, nope.
Oh,
But like I
because
said, but
it's
everybody
a
got a
whole
routine.
controversy on using a bar of soap versus a wash rag versus, all of the things, what I'm saying, to keep your body clean.
I must have missed that. Oh, you talking about like, do you just wash with the bar soap instead of using a rag or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, that's stupid. That's got to be white people got to be on the side of just using a bar of soap because I have never in my life just taken a bar of soap. Um, if it were a towel available, that's what I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna take a bar of soap and just be running a bar of soap over my whole body, or even I guess the body wash. I guess you just kind of take it and lather it up. I'm not. That's white people stuff.
And that's even more, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because a bar of
Mm-mm.
soap versus body wash, like using your hand to get like clean, I just don't understand because your skin peels. Like you shed, whether it's,
Yeah,
your skin, whether it's just sweat coming out your pores, like you
hmm,
have some type of, you know,
yeah. That's
relief.
it's a natural part of life. Yeah,
So I can't understand or fathom how you get thoroughly clean without a wash rag. You got to get that up off of you. You got to exfoliate.
yeah.
You got to get something to, get the
Kind of
particles, get
the
the
little bit of
extra shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Because
your hands
soap
ain't getting everywhere neither. Yeah.
a soap on a molecular level is made to be slippery. So
Hmm.
I can't see
Yeah.
soap on a molecular level attaching to dirt to be removed. I can't see it. Can't see it.
Well, I will say this. I've noticed this before sometimes. Like if I'm say my hands are dirty, like I'm outside doing something, I come in and wash my hands. If I'm just like kind of rinsing my hands, the dirt really doesn't come off. Because I'll think about this sometimes about how soap is really amazing in that sense. Because like the soap, so like I said, if I'm washing my hands, I got dirt on my hands, like it may not really come off, like the some of the visible dirt to come off, right? So it's to your point too. But then if I put some soap in my hands and lather the soap up, whatever, it all comes off. And so it's like, so it's kind of to your point where it's like if you just kind of rubbing a little bit of soap on you, it's like, all right, yeah, you might get a little bit off of it, but you got to get something to kind of really get up in there and kind of work that in a little bit more as to really get it off. So soap is really amazing. It's amazing how stuff works and people don't really realize how much it works or the way it works. And we just keep it moving. That's how amazing life is. We just keep it moving. Like you gotta have some soap, but you better use a rag too. If you ain't using no rag, your ass is nasty.
Honestly, it's some white people that make fun of black people using a washcloth, and they say it's so impoverished to use a washcloth. And I'm thinking to myself, how? How is
Impoverish
it
me.
impoverished to use a washcloth to get dirt, debris, and everything
Well,
else you can't see at a molecular level off of your fucking body?
well, some of these people are the ones that say you don't have to shower every day. Also,
And the same ones that will rinse their hand when they use the bathroom and leave. We not
yeah.
gonna, yeah.
I'm a huge like hygiene type person in that sense. I can't stand people that don't wash their. Like if you go to the bathroom and don't wash your hands, that's disgusting. Like that's disgust. I despise when people do not want. If I'm out somewhere and you in the bathroom, see people use the bathroom and they just walk out or what. That's disgusting to me. Um,
I be
if
ready
if,
to
if I'm in a
grip.
house, if I'm in a house and I can hear a toilet flush and you walk out the
Yes.
house, I'm sorry, and you walk out the bathroom a little too fast. I'm looking like nigga, the water couldn't even have got hot. Like I'm a side eye you then. Like you gotta even in the middle of the night when I wake up and go to the bathroom. I might be the odd one, but I'm gonna turn that water on, and wait till it get hot, and wash my hands. I'm just weird like that.
No, I got you one even better. When I'm at work and I work in the medical field and I'm touching different stuff and I'm, handling different stuff, whatever. When I decide to use the bathroom, I wash my hands before and after I use the bathroom.
I've done that before.
Because as a
I've done that
female,
before.
I don't want to touch the toilet paper, touch myself after I done touched God knows what in my daggone work day.
Hmm.
So I'm
No,
gonna wash my
I
hands before and after I use the bathroom.
I think that's kind of common with some people because I've heard people say that, men and women, and I've done it before too. Depending on what I was doing before going
Hmm.
into the bathroom, I've gone in and be like,
Hmm.
"Yo, let me wash my hands, let me use the bathroom real quick, and then me go and wash my yeah, yeah." Because
And
I'm just,
mind you,
I'm just,
like as a
mm-mm.
man, you don't have a open
Ours is on the outside.
situation.
Yeah, yeah.
But even still, you don't want to touch yourself after
Mm-mm.
you touch door handles, this and that, third, or whatever. Like worked on this, worked on that, and it really started when I was when I was working in a factory a couple years back. And the girl, we went to the bathroom, we went on break, whatever, and I seen her washing her hands before she used the bathroom. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, and it's
Yeah,
been one of my habits ever since. Like
yeah.
for the longest, I didn't understand how people didn't pee in the shower. Like, nigga, you gotta pee, just pee in the shower. It's gonna rinse all the way down.
People
However,
be acting like that's so weird.
peeing in the
There's
shower,
a go
peeing
ahead.
in the shower is different. It's some white people that said they shit in the shower too, and they just smash it down.
Nah,
That's
yeah.
disgusting.
Don't tell
Pee
me
in the
no nasty
shower,
shit like
that's
that.
understandable. But my one friend, she said, I don't pee in the shower because I use the bathroom before I shower. So I never, pee in the shower because I use the bathroom before. I said, oh. And
That
so
makes
now I
sense.
use the bathroom before I shower too because that makes sense.
The sound of water running makes me actually want to have to use the bathroom.
And that's what a lot of people say. That's what a lot of people say.
Because I used to, it's even when I would sleep sometimes, and the transitions to DMST are very wild. Because we've gone from what we were talking about to peeing and shitting in the shower. but
Wasn't gonna
but
say anything, but I promise you, like this is sanitation. This is DMST conversations sanitation pod because
sanitation.
we literally spent 40 minutes on cleaning.
It's one of it because what did I say? It's either going to be that or booty cleaning process. So sanitation pod, it's probably a little bit better. But I was I was about to say that's why I stopped. listening to, because sometimes I would do like the rain sounds when I fall asleep. And
Uh-huh.
I felt like it was making me get up and go to the bathroom more because it's subconsciously I'm just hearing water, water,
Yeah,
water,
yeah,
water, water,
yeah.
and so I stopped listening to those. Um, Speaking of pee, I got to share a story.
Mhm.
I and Your girl Carlisha must think she gonna be must be moonlighting as a comedian or something. So we went to the Cavs game. We went to game one of this first round series
Don't do her
on a
like that.
Saturday, and so I'm in the bathroom, with stalls or whatever. Some older white guy come up. He's talking to his friend like, "Boy, I really be having to go." He's like, "If I just have a cup of coffee, it's just like that old people shit talk." As I'm peeing though, and I know you about to have jokes for days, but as I'm peeing, I felt something. I had jeans on. I felt like I felt something hit my pant leg. And I'm like, "Huh?" Or whatever. I see your face. I swear to God. And so he gets done before me. And so I get done and I'm going over to wash my hands with it. And I look down and there's like two wet spots at the bottom of my pant leg because this man must have, as he's walking up, swear to God, and you talk about me not telling something I don't want people to know. And this man, I guess, as he's walking up and talking, having this conversation, this old man, as he's pulling his shit out, I'm guessing, probably just starts to go and it just sprays somewhere and it hits down towards my shoes, the bottom part of my pant leg. And I'm looking like, I don't even know how to react to this. Like, I can't feel it because it's on a pair of jeans. Thank God it was a longer pair of jeans and not like something that would have touched my actual leg. I don't know how to react to this. Now, your girl Carlisha gonna sit there and talk about I was in the bathroom taking golden showers. So I almost divorced her. We almost had to sign the papers that day just because of that.
And that not have been that easy.
But I'm sitting here and I started thinking like, I don't know how to react to something like that because we've been out in places. I'm a man, so we've been standing at urinals in public places peeing for years and years. I just turned
And you've never
45.
been shot.
No, I've never experienced somebody's, I guess, a spray trickle, a drop or so hit my, and it hit, because I felt it hit my pant leg. I just don't know how I was supposed to feel in that situation. I just know I felt dirty. I couldn't feel it. Like it
Let me
wasn't.
get close on this. Day after day.
I hate that shit. I felt dirty the whole day. I couldn't feel it. It's on the outside of my pants, all the way at the bottom of my pant leg. But it's like, dude,
And it was a
it
white
was like
dude?
it was an older white guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I
You
wouldn't
didn't
be
even know.
surprised if.
You had the hard R on your pants leg.
See, this is why I shouldn't have shared this story with you. This is why I stay buttoned up.
It the hard R was on your pants leg.
Ugh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the one
I
to tell you. I'm sorry to be the
I
one to
don't.
tell you. But it was.
I mean, was I
And
supposed to fight?
you listen, your purpose in life is
Here
so
we go.
undone until you find this white man that put the hard R on your pants. Because, like, in all honesty, he disrespected you, he disrespected the culture, and he voted no on reparations. You got to make this right.
You know what? You know what? I hate that I told this story. I hate that I told this story. But the I was in the shower with the quickness when I came home. Again, even
Like,
though
he treated you like a stereotypical black dude. You ain't even know baby daddy. You ain't even know absent father. Like, you are very present in your son's life. And he treated you like you made illegitimate kids and you on like child
okay,
support and all that other stuff. And you
okay,
are an upstanding citizen and a well-to-do black man.
okay. Next topic, because now you're gonna take the jokes and run them even further into the ground. But seriously, was I supposed to fight this man?
Yes.
All right, so I guess I got to go
Yes.
look for him
Yes,
now.
she was. When you seen said trickle on your fucking ankle,
It wasn't
you
on my
should have
ankle.
literally mustered up all of the strength from your ancestors and knocked that nigga out. And let's
He
be
was
for
gone
real.
by that point.
And let's be for real. He wouldn't have fought back because he knows that's the course of action when you disrespect a black man.
All right,
He
so
wouldn't have fought you that. He wouldn't have pressed charges, none of that. He would have took that on the chin because he knew exactly what he did.
I'm on the hunt for him then. All right, so
So you got to find that man. You got to find that man like John Wick found the person that killed his puppy.
next topic. I knew I shouldn't have shared. See, when I start sharing, I get ridiculed. So that's I should have took that to the grave.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't though. So, cause you know what? That when you post a clip of this episode, make that a caption question for people to can vote. Should you have beat that man up, or was you right for letting it slide? Cause like you said, it wasn't on your skin. It was on the garment of clothing that you were wearing. It never touched your skin. So was it disrespect or was it a near miss?
I definitely. I mean, if I'm being 100% honest, dude was just some old guy running to try to get to his seat for the game, talking the shit, and just walking up to the. Maybe some guys do that. I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna be out here. White dudes are too comfortable. White dudes are the ones you don't do the men's restroom. So white dudes are the ones they don't like to hold they shit. They just like to sit there and they hands on their side or they got a hand on the wall and all that shit or whatever.
No, are you serious?
White dudes be wilding in bathrooms.
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Oh no.
That.
White dudes are the ones that sit there and they don't care. They still have conversations going on. Dudes, at least black dudes, we not sitting here doing a bunch of conversating and all that stuff when we at the stall. Like we gonna throw our bit. I could be like, hey man, yeah, man. So, the birthday party is gonna be like this, and I'm gonna ask her to marry me, and then when I'm done peeing, now I'm back into it. Now I'm back. Like we just not sitting. We not gonna sit here and have this whole long drug conversation. You thought I froze.
If you talk to me and I'm touching myself, that's a soft threesome. That's a soft threesome. Like if you're engaged, like as soon as I touch my penis, any and every attention conversation should just stop.
Yeah,
because I'm touching my penis. This is a private moment.
This is this is
private moment with nobody else. I don't care.
Because if I'm talking to you,
I don't care what's going on. Like as soon as I touch my dick, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because now it's an intimate moment, and if I'm talking to you, now we being intimate with each other.
You making eye contact and you holding your penis. That's against all rules.
Come on. That's why you're not supposed to stand next to each other when you're in the stalls too. That's an unwritten man law. You don't but when you're in public bathrooms at arenas and stuff like that, you can't get around it, obviously, because the bathrooms are packed. But like if it's 5 urinals on the wall and I go in there and there's always a question, which one do you choose? If I walk in right now and there's 5 urinals, then it's like, all right, no one's at any one of them. And it's like, all right, which one do you go to? I go to one on the end, no matter what, because you are not standing in the place that somebody's going to come in and want to stand right next to you. And then the next guy that comes in should put one in between him. You don't stand next to somebody at a urinal unless you absolutely have to. That is man law, man code, everything else like that. Has somebody
ever did that to you when it was absolutely like possible for them to go
White people do that
else?
shit. White people be doing that. They'll come stand right next to you. You be like, yo, what is going on?
Do you think I don't
know. I don't know if they really do that. I just think that they just be different.
They want to see the stereotype.
I think they just be different. Like, so, because even when homie walking up,
look at you and be like, "Wow, it's true."
Nah, well, you better go. You better go find somebody else. You gotta go find somebody else. Let me have my intimate moment alone.
That's pretty probably like why they don't hold themselves. So like, nigga, it's perched up on my sack. It's good.
Yeah, I'm telling you that'd be wild. But it's just like, but it's also weird too because. See, I'm of a certain age. I went to the old Cleveland Brown Stadium, to the old where they played baseball at old Cleveland Memorial Stadium. So in that bathroom, they had these things called it's called a trowel. And if you Google it, it's basically like a long ass bathtub because it was an old ass stadium. So they didn't have urinals in there. So that was your first.
So that was contributed to the basin that's in the middle of the room.
basically it was like up against the wall. So like anybody that's been in that old stadium or old places like that have gone through that. So as a young boy, you've been traumatized on that because the first time I went to a Browns game when I went with like an older cousin, he used to have their family used to have season tickets. My dad would go with him a lot. Then as we got older, we got to go to some games and sometimes or whatever. But you go to the bathroom the first time there, and you go in the bathroom and you like, okay, well, where's the not? It's just this long. It's called a trowel. I
Whip
think
it
is what it's
out.
called.
We all
And
here.
and,
Whip it
and it's
out.
just a bunch of grown drunk men peeing into this big ass basin. Basically, is what it is. And so
Matter of
that's
fact, tell
traumatizing
them you
as
got
hell for a
distance.
kid.
Pee behind another man. I got range.
I can't. This is okay. This is going. This is getting
Peeing
out
from
of
the
hand.
diaphragm.
This is from the diaphragm. That's my movie. Got to get Sister Act 2 on them.
Listen, I had 3 bottles of water before I got here. I am ready to go.
Do you need to take a break and go? If you need to take a break and go, you can. Then we'll hit the Meg topic and finish it up.
Oh no, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about niggas.
Oh, I thought you were talking like right now. Okay, but all
Uh-uh.
right. So enough about P.
I can do a Kegel. It's fine.
Yeah, enough about P. So let's switch over to this Meg topic real quick. Because I know we said we wasn't gonna go super long. We already about 40 minutes in.
It's
Um,
fine.
well, remember the
Oh,
beginning
we
part
started
is
recording before that though.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
right.
yeah. I
You
got to
right.
cut all that beginning stuff out.
Yeah.
Um, so this is what's been blowing up everybody's world for the last, I guess, week now. It's had to have probably been about a week.
Probably a week
Um,
and a half.
damn, that long? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So so everybody at this point knows. I'm glad we're getting to talk about it now after the huge firestorm of it is blown over. So Megan Thee Stallion and Clay Thompson broke up, and there's all this shit out there because people are messy. And I forgot about the one part. I put a note in my phone I want to touch on real quick with that too. But people are messy, and everybody has these. This here's the term I've learned recently over the last few months or so that people use, parasocial. So people have these parasocial. They have these relationships in their mind with these people, these celebrities, where they think they know people. Um,
Oh.
so so that's why people have these reactions when stuff happens, because in their mind, Meg is really your friend. In their mind, they really go out with Beyonce every Saturday night, or they were in the studio when Taylor Swift was making this album. They have these relationships with people that are really only in their mind. That's why you get people to have these huge conversations and these huge reactions and all these think pieces and stuff that come up. People have these, and I call them the extremes though. Those are the extremists of these things. But anyway, people have lost their minds because Clay and Meg broke up. And the only reason people know they broke up is because Megan went on to Instagram and posted a story that said something along the lines of infidelity and all those other things. I wish I could find it, but along the lines of
Basically, you
infidelity
had
and
me around your
yeah,
family, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
cheating on me. Basically,
yeah,
you had me basically playing wife, and
yeah,
you was unfaithful.
yeah. So let me say this. So I'll start with it. Let me say this. Um, I think people. I'm gonna set this baseline because I represent the male side of things here. I think people unfairly come for Meg all the time. Um,
Thank you for
a
saying
lot
that.
of yeah, a lot of it is goes back to the Tory Lane stuff, um, and it's just weird that people come for somebody that again you don't know. Um and so for a lot of those guys that do that, I truly say fuck them. Because you're not real people. They come for her the same way they used to come at Sierra and stuff like that for not being with Future, and for people like that, I genuinely look at them and like, if you are too concerned with the women that are sucking these men's dick. And if you're that concerned with it, why don't you go suck it yourself? So let's set that as the baseline so that you know where I stand on these things. So when I come out with something that's contrary to maybe supporting her completely, that y'all don't get mad at me. That's how I feel about the people who react like that towards like her and stuff like that, because it's insane that you applaud for people to be unhappy because you don't like them for whatever reason.
Mhm.
For whatever reason you choose to not like these women. With that being said, though, I did have a good conversation with Dev during the week, and that maybe kind of changed my viewpoint with some of these things. But with that being said, yo, they just broke up. Like it's can we stop acting like the world is going to end because this couple broke up? Like this is what couples do. You know, even with her saying something like, "Hey, well, you had me around your family and all these types of things." Guess what? That's what couples do. Had it been the opposite, had they had the same amount of time together, the same amount of months put in, and Thanksgiving passed, Easter passed, 4th of July, whatever, and all, the times that people get together and you never see them online together. If Clay was with his fam and she was out here with her family doing whatever, people would say, "Well, damn, why they not together? Why they not spending the holidays together?" No, they did what couples do. So when you say you had me around your family and stuff like that, that kind of shoots and misses for me because that's what couples do. If he didn't invite her over, he would have been losing. Because now why you not having him around? Why don't you want to bring her around? Um, I just feel like people react so wildly when relationships end. There's only two things that's going to happen when you try to get into a relationship. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. It's 50-50. Decent odds when for some stuff, but it ain't like the greatest of odds. It's only a 50% chance. It ain't the greatest of odds. If you had to put your life savers on the answering a question and they gave you 50-50 odds, you may not want to answer that question because it ain't like if it was 99% that you was going to win, yeah, you would do it. So 50-50 odds ain't that great. Um, I feel like with this situation, what we're seeing is the worst of people, though. Um, and what happens in life is, I think, when we talk about relationships and black people, because this seems to be such a huge topic amongst our people, what happens is it's a lot like politics, where there's an extreme left and there's an extreme right.
Yes, it is like politics. Yes.
But the reality is the bulk of people are somewhere in the middle. You might have some stuff from the left hand side that you really, really agree with, but like me, I'm left and more less conservative or whatever. So I'm more, again, I'm just more left with that, where social issues and things like that. I'm all on that. I'm 100% in on all of those things. But I can still have a conservative side when it comes to stuff like money and stuff, where I can say, well, you can't throw money at everything. We can't always just bail everybody out and those types of things. You know. So again, it's a lot like politics, where you can have pieces of both sides, but ultimately in the middle, we all kind of want the same thing. And I think relationships are kind of the same way with us, with black people. We kind of all are in the middle. The thing is, when it comes to social media and these phones and what people see and what they present to you, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So the people who are extreme on the left and extreme on the right, or the people who are extreme asshole men or extreme asshole women, are the ones that you see all the time. They're the ones that they put into your feed all the time. I don't click on them shits, but I get the pod clips all the time about the women need to do this and the men need to do that, and it just be the wildest, most incoherent shit ever. And I'm like, wow. I'll intentionally click on more videos of people being happy, or there's this couple on Facebook, young, married, and committed, and they're like a young, early 20s couple. They're married, they
Hmm.
have like a kid or two, and all their videos are just them loving on each other and stuff like that. I'll click on stuff like that more, but I'm still gonna get the bullshit, and I'm convinced that Instagram and all these companies cycle that shit for black people because it keeps the conversation going. And that's what I think we're getting a lot of with the Meg and Clay thing. You've seen the absolute worst of men in these comments, and I can say that fully. You've seen the absolute worst of men in some of these comments, and celebrating all this shit. But I think you see it because they want you to see those comments. I truly don't believe everybody is as shitty as we see all the time. Um, but as far as the relationship and the breakup, getting back to that again, I think it was just a breakup. You know, I think they were doing what they were supposed to be doing as a couple. They seemed like they were having a good time and having fun. And for whatever reason, I don't condone cheating. If that's the real reason they broke up, I don't condone cheating, because you can be a man and be like, yo, I don't really want to do this no more. You
Yeah.
can move on. We're adults. We can move on. So I don't condone that part, but that's surface level my thoughts of it. I'll give you the floor.
Um, I don't know if it's um I don't know if it's so much of people feeling like they know these celebrities or if unfortunately it's a relatable situation.
Hmm. Okay.
Because so many people have talked about normalizing cheating for men that it's very hard for women to see it in a person who they believe shouldn't receive that treatment, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because as a woman who has established herself in such a male dominated arena and is successful in what she does, you wouldn't expect people to mishandle her in such a way. However, it's business and personal. And I don't think that people always separate the two. For
They don't.
example, a lot of people say that because Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Glorilla, and all these different female rappers portray this whole culture that that should be reflective of their real life. That's what they do for entertainment. And if you can't separate the artist from the individual when it comes down to female rappers, that's a problem. When it comes down to females, period. Because not only in the rap industry do you see it, you also see it in acting. Because a couple years back, if you remember, Angela from the series Power got
Oh, the yeah, yeah,
harassed
yeah.
by full grown adults for acting. Full grown adults
Hmm.
chastised and antagonized this woman in real life for a role she played in the series. And that's where I feel like I'm so glad that my dad taught me at a very, 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 very young age that what you see on TV and what you hear on the radio is entertainment, is not real life. And I knew that we were in a bad place when in the 90s, these two white boys got off on stealing the car and crashing it, and they blamed it on Grand Theft Auto. And they got away with it.
I think I remember that story whenever that came
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So when it comes down to female rappers, let's keep it a buck. Before female rappers had the content they're rapping about, it was already coming out the mouths of male rappers. Male rappers were already degrading women at an alarming place because the woman who's most hated right now, Jada Pinkett, had said to Eazy-E Eric in an interview, "Hey, your music does not make me feel good about myself." She said that back when they were blowing up. Your music does not make me feel as a black woman good about myself.
Hmm.
It got ignored. So while the men were saying these different things about black women, it was okay. But as soon as a black woman says the exact same fucking thing and empowers that, it's a whole different energy. Why?
Hmm.
Why?
It's because she's a woman, and I am smart enough to understand that much. Yeah, it's there's a large segment of the population, of the male population, that hates to see women empower themselves. But the opposite side would be, would that be considered empowerment to everyone? You know, it's just,
This is
I'm
the thing.
go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Oppressors always want the people they oppress to get rid of the victim mentality, although their experience in being a victim is completely valid. And the patriarchy that we are now living in is doing more damage covertly than it is helping us. And so many men want to be a part of it. They don't want to dismantle it. Why? It has so many benefits for them. that they don't realize they'll never fucking touch because they are a black fucking man.
No, it's
So
like it's like racism in that sense where it's just like white
that's
men
what I'm
are
saying.
never going to get rid of that, and then you have like the white women that support them because they benefit from what comes along with being with that white man.
And then think about it. You are so focused on being equal to them, which is feminism, mind you, because feminism is about equality. As a black man, you are so invested in being equal to this oppression versus dismantling it. Because guess what? As a black man, you still have a demographic of beneath you, which is black women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy how, for example, um, it's crazy how when you talk about value, um, when we bring up women being of value because they bring life. Well, men want to take half credit because without their sperm, there is no life. However,
True.
when it comes down to accountability, the only person that is spoken to about it is women. Women are told, pick better. Women are told, you shouldn't be having
Mm-hmm.
your legs open for everybody. However, last time I checked, a woman can't force a man to make a baby. So when it comes down to baby daddies, they are literally the result of being irresponsible with your seed. And when you're irresponsible with your seed, this is all the things you pick. You pick that woman
Yeah.
to carry your seed, whether it was because she was suited for you or because you knew she would not have nothing to do with you long term and you wanted to keep her in your life. Because I find through conversation that a lot of men have weaponized their control over commitment and conception to humble a female versus really starting a productive and positive contribution to society. You would rather use those factors to humble a female versus actually building your community. Because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of men have gotten to this mental state of they care more about their legacy as far as making kids than actually cultivating a family. They're more concerned with somebody carrying on their DNA than actually cultivating a family.
Yeah.
So you have this female who's way farther in you than life in life, way more established, way more, and the thing that you want most is to humble her by giving her a kid you don't want, that you lied about, that you manipulated, you gaslighted her in committing to, and then be mad when she brings up the conversation of abortion. Do you know abortion is probably only around because consensual conception wasn't a conversation no more? Like I researched it, like sperm donation wasn't even consensual all the time. And it tells you in Google, if you Google sperm donation, it was not always consensual with the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, legal rape is the reason why abortion is a thing. So again, when it comes down to this gender dynamic, I can't understand or digest what the issue men have with women is for real. Because
If
if
Go ahead.
it comes down to cheating, cheating has been a thing that men have wanted to normalize forever. When cheating is not even a real thing if you just stay single. You know what you want. You know you don't want to commit. However, let's be for real. Let's be honest. You want that thing from a woman who you know is about commitment, is about actual being like value, is like all those things. So you present yourself in a way to get this out of her versus just being honest. When there's plenty of women who would take that honesty and do whatever you want with it. However, those women who's okay with it are not pretty, don't have no value, like aren't on that level. So you manipulate a woman out of what you want because let's be for real. Again, men control commitment, men control conception. So Clay pretty much presented himself as somebody who wanted to settle down with Megan to get all of this out of her, and then woke up one day and was like, you know what, I got it, I done achieved
Mm,
it, and I'm over it. And that's what a lot of men do, unfortunately. Unfortunately,
yeah, I
these
mean, see,
are
this.
these
Oh, go
are
ahead.
these are these are notches on a man's belt. When at the end of the day, this is real open vulnerability for a woman to say, "Hey, I'm gonna take this man serious." When all along from the day one, this was not your same mentality as a man.
So, I mean, and you let me speak. So I wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off or anything. So it's see, first and foremost, I don't ever think to me they just didn't think I didn't strike them as being a couple. I hate when people be online again. This parasocial thing that people do. Oh, they really look good together. How do you know? Like, what aesthetically, you think they look good together? He's tall, she's tall, or something like that. I felt like demeanor wise, they're different. Meg is this young chick out here living her life, doing what she want to do, making the music she want to make, twerking on stage, everything. She living her life a certain way. Clay ain't never been even on his dating history on who he's dated in the past. It's not people. They don't fall into the same box. If I was putting categories, that I would place Meg
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
and I'm not attacking Meg. I'm saying it's because I'm always a big person that says when people talk about how relationships don't work, then try something different. People fall into dating the same type of person every single time and then wonder why it don't work every single time because you keep dating the same person every single time. But I just never saw them being a couple. Well, how people say it wasn't on my bingo card or whatever.
I knew
That
you were
wasn't
gonna
on my
say
thing. Yeah,
that.
that just wasn't. I just wasn't looking at them two like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I can see them two being together. So it don't surprise me technically that they are not together. I'm I'm not going to sit here and come down heavy on each side or on either side of saying, this is what you should have did or what you shouldn't have done or anything or Clay presented himself or this way or something like that. I don't know. Maybe the hell he did. Maybe he really did exactly what you sat there and said he did, that he did. Maybe he presented himself as a person ready to settle down and all these things or whatever. But maybe he got into this relationship with Meg and figured out that that wasn't the one. So what he should have did again to me goes back to it. He should have like, hey, instead of if that's the real truth, which I'm guessing it is, she said I don't think she would just say it. I'm guessing it is. Then just man up and say, all right, I'm out.
And
Just
that's the
say I'm
thing that
out
pisses me off the most
because if
about
he
it, because the same reason why you exited the situation was the same reason you knew before you entered it.
mm,
You knew exactly who she was from day one. I don't feel that
which is true.
anything that could have made you leave her was blindsided to you. You knew she was a rapper. You knew the culture that she, you know what I'm saying, cultivated. You knew
What she
all of these things.
presents.
Because, in all honesty, my last relationship, the same reason why we did not work out was the same reason why I didn't want to date him in the first place. However, presented himself like, oh, that wouldn't be a problem. This is what I want. I don't mind basically starting over with you because, again, I want kids. So if you know that you at least wants kids from the gate, and I let people notice that, like, and maybe I shouldn't go into it with that mindset, but I always try to start with the end in mind. I want kids. Somewhere down this line, I'm going to want to be a mom. So I hope you want to be a father. And I let them know that from the beginning. So if at the end of our relationship, the reason why you want out is because you don't want to be a father, why the fuck did you bother me? You
Mm,
literally wasted another year and made me a geriatric pregnancy for when I do have a fucking kid. Like, let's be for real. You knew all of what was going on with her because she's a celebrity. This is not nobody that you gotta like investigate their
yeah,
life with.
she
You knew
lives
exactly what she
she
was
lives her
dealing
life in
with.
the open. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is not no stranger that you gotta research. You knew she was dealing with shit with rapping. You knew she was dealing with shit with court with Tori. And even with Tori, y'all sit up there and hate this woman so much, but Tori, as a grown consenting man, sat up there and said or did not say whatever for him to be in a position he is right now.
Yeah.
Whether he
Like
took
I
the rap for
said,
that lady
yeah.
or whether he did it firsthand himself. However, it went down unbeknownst to the public. He knew and still decided to take the rap for the situation.
Yeah.
So why are y'all mad at this woman? He chose that. He could have easily, if he was innocent, said, "Hey, I ain't do this shit," and been free on his own coordinates. But
Yeah.
he decided to do whatever he did on his end, not snitch, not say, let the evidence do what it do, and he's sitting it down. Why are y'all mad at Megan?
Yeah. I mean, I still think he did shoot her, but that's a whole nother conversation for a
Exactly.
different point in
And
time.
I feel like and I feel like he did too. I feel like in all honesty, they both did. In all honesty, like for real. I just feel like it was a messy ass fucking situation.
Either
However,
that's what you just said. Yep. No matter what, nope. It don't matter what happened. It was some messy shit happened in that
mhm,
car that night, and she got shot by somebody that night. And now the worst of people are always coming at her neck because something messy happened in the car that night. So I think I think that's odd. I just feel like there's been a lot of conversation also about, well, keep your relationships offline, and there's a couple of things I really want to get into before we, get off of this and end it. But it's just that's another thing. People talk about keeping your relationships offline, and again, these are. I need people to understand this too. There's a difference between what I'm doing on what you doing, like what me and my wife are doing, or something like that, and what Clay and Meg are doing. Like I hate when people get online all the time and but keep their relationships offline. And I understand there's messy people everywhere. And I do understand to a certain extent of keeping stuff offline because of energy in a sense. Like I'm not big. I don't post a lot anyway. Carlisha will talk about me how I'll post a story more than I post a goddamn before I put up a post. But but there's these things, there's energy out there. And I do kind of feel like if you put something out there relationship wise or whatever, not everybody's happy for you.
it's in the eye
And
of
some people,
scrutiny,
and
whether it's
yeah,
good
and
or bad.
some people are wishing for your downfall, or they are plotting
Hmm.
and things like that. And not because you're a celebrity, just because they just unhappy motherfuckers. And and they
Say
will
it.
put energy, and they'll put energy out there and all of those types of things. And so, and for that reason, I would say keep that type of stuff private. But we ain't got to keep our stuff private for the same reason that these celebrities do. And people got to stop putting themselves in the shoes of celebrities in these situations where, I was having this conversation with Alicia where it's like regular people are looking at this situation and looking at Meg and being like, and we see Meg from our perspective as a celebrity, and I said it to her, so I'm not gonna get in trouble. We know Meg's attractive. We see the things that come along with Meg. We know who she is, so we can understand that thing. Um, but when if you're but you got to understand that with that comes everything else. And I kind of want to bring in the argument that Dev had in the sense, what kind of lines up with you in a sense also, where you know, um, for however much it matters or shouldn't matter, once you make a song called WAP and
I
you
knew
hit
it was coming.
record and you hit upload, fair or not, and I'm saying fair or not because I heard your argument, fair or not though, people gonna look at you differently. They gonna look at you differently. It's if Nick Cannon got like 15 kids out here, people look at him differently. I actually see women being like, yo, you causing all these broken homes and all these people. Look at him. Ray J was on the podcast in the last week or so talking about how he slept with 12,000 women in his life.
Hmm.
People look at his ass differently because you are doing some wild shit out here or whatever. Not saying that recording a song talking about something that's actually different than the actual actions of doing it. But the thing is, there's perception that comes with these sorts of things. And I only brought the part about what Dev said, and I don't want to dive into it too much because he ain't here to kind of make the argument that he would make 100 times better than me. But once you start doing these things, it does change people's perceptions, which then leans into the things of what you were saying, the patriarchy and all of these types of things, which although they are not fair, although these are things that we are still fighting, but now you're leaning into these things. And some people do have to trailblaze these things, though. You have to be the people that say, I'm going to do this no matter what. Somebody had to be Rosa Parks and sit down on the bus in the front and be like, you know what? I'm not getting up out the seat no matter what. You know what I'm saying? For things to change. There's going to have to be these people who say, I'm going to live my life the way I want to live it. And no matter what, Y'all just gonna have to accept it, and somebody will at some point, and she'll be happy and she'll be married and do all the things she wants to do. Um, but people have to stop again trying to place themselves in these positions of being in these celebrity shoes and stuff like that. Clay, for as attractive as we see Meg being as regular people, and I know she's a little bit different, the tall and all the other little things or whatever else. I get that. Clay is a 12, 14-year NBA veteran that's been on the road for the bulk of his life, and he's seen and been with women and turned down women that most of us will look at and be like, God damn, you turned that down? Because that's been his life. He has a different perspective on things than we do as regular people. That's a fact. It doesn't absolve him from saying that you can't be honest and say, okay, I don't want to be with you. I'm going to cheat or something like that. It doesn't absolve him from that. But we got to stop putting ourselves in the shoes of these people who live a totally different life
Mhm.
of what we do. And also, too, I want to say that the person that's in the middle of it too, the basketball player Letsey Brown, who they say who the rumor is that he cheated on her with or whatever, that now she has to have security and all of these things or whatever, and people was clowning her because she had made a video one day and put it online saying just, hey, yeah, I wish one of them would come out and say that I didn't do this because I'm getting death threats and I have to hire security now. And for people who follow the WNBA, it's not the NBA. These women are traveling very visibly through airports and stuff like that. They just are getting more private jets and stuff like that from their owners, and they had to get legal, and the league fought them on that in a lot of ways. I think at one time the Las Vegas Aces owner was getting fined for just providing a private jet to his team, was getting fined by the league because they wasn't providing it to like everybody in the league or whatever. So it's real for her if she's actually getting threats and if she's really not involved. And I don't know if Clay or Meg should actually step out there and say something. I would almost feel like in a woman code type of sense, if she knew that Clay cheated, but she knew it wasn't her, that she probably should come up like, hey, leave this girl alone. She ain't had nothing to do with this. Um, so that's
But who
weird too.
knows?
But this also still goes back to the parasocial thing of being like, Meg ain't your best friend. Why you got to go ride for Meg, even if it was
And
her?
and my thing is, Clay should come out and say something along those lines more than it should be Megan to say that, hey, I ain't touched this girl. This girl ain't do nothing as far as my relationship, whatever. It would be more so on Clay to defend that because again, Megan is going off of you know limited information when it comes down to the details of who he was basically unfaithful with. So it would
Hmm.
be to Clay to say that more than it would be to Meg.
If that was true.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm,
And it's like, so, and I only say that because um I dealt with something that parallels that. So um long story short, a comedian has said that another comedian essayed me,
hmm.
and I had to basically dead that rumor because I know it's not true. This man can't put that fire out on his own. So I was done with the person who was alleging to this, and I was just gonna be like, okay, let the monkey head a circus. But when it got to the point to where now this monkey is pulling in innocent people
Hmm.
and putting bad papers on their name, now you forced me to speak up. And once I spoke
Hmm.
up, it deaded that, and even that comedian parted ways, you know what I'm saying? And everything was good. But had I just kept quiet about it and let that allegation or that rumor snowball to where it didn't have to go, because think about it, as a female, if word got out in the community that this comic did something to me, I can't,
Hmm.
for me, I can't consciously be okay with how people react to that news. Because some people may take it as like just gossip. Some people who care about me may want to do something. So for me to protect the person who is innocent
Hmm.
and not let nothing happen to that man, I have to say, hey, that ain't fucking true. Let's dead this. We good. Posted a picture together. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it also is like I said, it's not so much of them wanting to be like these celebrities' friends. I think it's so much of them relating to this common issue of infidelity when it comes down to relationships. And again, if Clay knew that Megan wasn't that person, then you could just could have kept it fun. You could have kept it light. It didn't have to be like this thing to where because both of y'all in the public now this has to be a public relationship because Lori Harvey and a couple other celebrities have kept their dealings personally off of fucking social media.
But it's no win. But it's no win because Lori does it, and Lori does NDAs and all that shit. That's why nothing comes out about her because she makes people and people get mad at her for. At least that's what I've heard. That's what I've seen online. That she has people sign those types of things and stuff like that because she doesn't want these types of conversations going, which still go on about her no matter what. And then people still rip her a new one because of the fact that she like, yo, I don't want y'all talking about me. That's the part of the relation of the dynamic for me that I could look at as a man and be like, that's where the no win comes in. I could put that into a box, like, all right, because she don't want y'all talking about her, and she wants to just be a person that lives and dates like all of us did in our 20s and 30s or whatever else, and live our life. But she don't want people talking about it all the time. So she does that, and people are mad at her. The same way that just recently it was a little bit of chatter, but I think it kind of got lost because of all the Meg and Clay stuff or whatever. But Nia Long has been on a lot of podcasts lately because
Yep.
of, or
Yep.
just shows and stuff because of the Michael Jackson movie, and she was on the one where she was talking about, oh, I wish I could just have men sign NDAs and stuff like that, and that got a little traction. But I think it blew over because everybody was so focused on Meg and Clay, something like that. But it's just like, I get it. Why you want people talking about you all the time, or what you can do? And again, I I'd say from the beginning, 10 years ago we started this pod, and people used to look at me and be like, "Oh, he always Brainstorm always caping for the women and stuff like that." No, I just have a level of understanding with some things, so I try to look at things from both sides because I don't. I'm honestly outside of the cheating part with the Clay thing. I'm not going to jump down Clay's throat. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, he did wrong," and the family, this and that. He was in a relationship, and that's what people in relationships do. For at least that's going to be my argument for it.
Yeah.
Love me or hate me, that's what you do. Because again, if Easter passed, if Thanksgiving passed, and Clay was chilling with his peoples, and Meg was out somewhere bored or whatever, they would be mad. Again, the problem is, if you don't want to call it parasocial, fine. But it's just everybody have these insane group of followers. Hers is not as big as the Beehive or Taylor Swift, the Swifties and stuff like that, or Cardi B or whatever. But or
Barty
even
Gang.
or even Nicki's people. You know,
Barb's.
yeah. But it's just like people got these insane levels of attachment to
Because
these
they
people
can't
that
separate
you don't
entertainment from
know.
reality.
And that's the difference. I mean, but and I get it. It's like you were talking about with the and like I said, I brought up the WAP thing, again, I won't dive into it too much because I know Dev made a way way better point with it than I will. Um, but I mean, I get there's a difference with it, but some of it becomes reality. Some of it is just not the reality of what things are. But you have to be able to separate the two. And you have to
And
be
it's
able to.
crazy to me that people are able to do that with R. Kelly, but not Megan.
I was just about to go there, yeah, or
Because
anybody else, yeah,
R. Kelly, unbeknownst to y'all, could have been singing about a minor in his songs, and y'all still playing. And
yeah.
everybody say, "Oh, Robert did that. R. Kelly ain't do anything. R. Kelly is innocent." But why is it when it comes down to personal and entertainment, y'all are able to separate R. Kelly and Robert, but when it comes down to a female, Megan and Megan Thee Stallion is the same person? That doesn't make sense
I
to
mean,
me.
like you was talking about with the Angela thing, but it does happen both in a sense both ways because it's just like you brought up Angela from Power and the dude that played
Yeah,
what's his name? What's his? I can't think. Issa's boy dude. The guy that she was with in the beginning. What's his name? Jay Ellis. His real name is Jay Ellis. I can't remember his name from the show right now. It's just escaping me.
insecure.
Yeah. Her boyfriend, the dark skinned dude, the guy that she started
Yeah.
with on the show. His name, his character on the show is it's escaping me right now, but his real name is Jay Ellis. But he's talked about on plenty of shows how during the time of them going through the show and everything like that, how people will walk up to him, women will walk up to him and be mad at him for,
Yeah.
so
It was a whole scene in Low Down Dirty Shame how Jada Pinkett duck, punched somebody off a soap opera. Like people don't know how to separate reality from
yeah.
fucking
Oh yeah, I forgot about
entertainment.
that. Yeah, outside the little story. Yeah. People don't. So again, it's just people need to put the phones down and go touch grass and go live their
Huh,
life I
please.
mean go live their life and understand that we can't sit here and hold this thing in our hand constantly and be like, oh, well, this is going on and that's happening now. And now it's just, no, we got to go live. And Meg is going to be okay. Meg's bank account is really nice. She'll go to therapy or something and she'll work through this and she'll be fine. And there are no less than 1,000 men that will line up to date Meg and treat her fine or
And
whatever.
another
Clay,
1,000 men to date Clay because apparently they
yeah,
want
because
to.
yeah, Clay is gonna be fine. There's gonna
It's
be a
crazy because like
thousand.
when he started dating, when Clay started dating Megan, every man in the world called him a simp. Then when they found out that he cheated, all of a sudden he a king.
Because
What?
this is the it doesn't make again, this is where I keep trying to get back to. It don't make sense. It really does not make sense because you're absolutely right with that. Because
And
they
don't get me
hated
wrong,
her.
I don't subscribe to people celebrating Kevin Samuel's passing because that was another big thing and a divide in our culture when it came down
I wasn't a
to
big fan of
people
his.
with these platforms, huh?
I wasn't a big fan of his.
And that's the thing. Like, let's
Doesn't
be for real. When it
real quick.
comes down to it, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Don't minimize what he made points sometimes. I'm adult enough to know that he made sense at times. He made some points at times. It's the way he said it that I didn't agree with a lot of times. It's probably the only time me and Dev actually got into a shouting match on the actual podcast over our whole years. Um, but but again, I get it, but it's just sometimes it's the messenger, or how it comes off. So,
Yeah,
but
I
I
can
know you.
agree with
But I'm
that.
sorry.
No, you're fine. But like, if we're being 100, again, men control commitment, men control conception. So you want the person who was lied to and manipulated to take accountability for picking better when again they were presented fuck shit. Like I don't get it. And I'm trying on every level to empathize with these men about their, issues with women, but it's very delusional based.
But you
It's
got to
very
separate it
delusional
though.
based. Like and
You
I
got to
can't
separate it.
like it's crazy because why do you think that a man is supposed to lead? Because he picks that woman. He picks that family. So yes, you are supposed to lead what you picked to the best possible outcome. However, now we get into this space to where it's weaponized, to where you literally are legit trying to humble these females, and there's no accountability for the ways in which you maneuver with these females, and it's all their fault. Because the blame of a poorly raised child is always spoken to the accountability or lack thereof of a woman. No one ever speaks to the absent father or man who left that fucking family. Like
Uh, I,
it I and that's
I,
why
ugh.
you
I
very
almost feel
rarely
like
hear.
nowadays, I really almost feel like nowadays when something happened, people like you see all the time. That's why you need a dad at home or whatever. I almost feel like that part unintentionally flips into the the shitty part of things because it'll be men looking like say something go bad, you see kids being bad, they're like, well, that's why you need a dad at home or whatever. So it'll unintentionally flip into it. But if they were there, i.e., like a Clay was there for someone that you would calling somebody a simp or something. It's just like there's a circle of not winning that comes with that. And again, I'm not going to sit here and look at Clay and be like, oh, well, he presented himself a certain way or he did that, and now he nope, because I don't know. He could have just went into a relationship saying, I want to try to make this work with her, and then be like, all right, this ain't gonna work. I'm only going to fault him for cheating if that's what he did. I'm only going to fault him for that. Because if you go into a relationship half ass and you not present yourself the way you should present yourself as being a partner and what you want to be in a husband or a wife or something like that, then don't get into it. Don't get into it. Because again, only two things are going to happen in that relationship. But just don't if you get to the point that you know it's not going to work, which he could have got to with Meg, I'm like, yo, I can't deal with her lifestyle. She on the road doing this and I'm doing that. Then just walk away.
And these
Walk
are all the
away.
things you knew prior to fucking mess
But maybe he thought he can
pregnant
deal with
woman.
it though, Eulise. Maybe he thought that's like, yo, I'm on the road. I play ball. I'm gone. She gone.
Man, bro.
Maybe we'll make it
And I
work.
and I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it because let's be for real. Knowledge is not power. Application is. And men, a lot of times, and I'm sorry, just got to be honest, men, a lot
Speak
of
your truth.
times think that knowledge is enough. That's the reason why it's such an obsession with statistics. They think if they know all of these things, that's enough. When women look for the application that let me know, hey, am I really like this from you? And then, not to mention that again, because men control commitment and can one day wake up and be like, I don't even want this. That's the reason why a lot of women get the most out of a fucking man. And it's not because that they're greedy. It's because, hey, if I get all of this out of this man, it's going to be very hard for him to leave me because he's invested so fucking much in this. And these are gestures to let him know that he's really serious.
Mm.
However, a man on Clay's tax bracket can do all of these things and still wake up and say, hey, I don't want this. But again, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. If you one day said, I don't really want this with Megan, or I'm not even sure if I want forever with Megan, and just was like, hey, I don't know if I could just deal with one woman and just told her that,
Mm-hmm.
I can respect you way more versus you being
I get that too. Mm-hmm.
inconsiderate to her and cheating, knowing that this was fuck her up. And that's one thing I hate because I see all these different posts about, oh, we'll fuck somebody like Cardi and Megan because they got that wop, but we'll never wife them. But this is the fucked up part about that. If we're talking about the coin.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, you would fuck up your entire household with the woman who's submissive, with the woman who's conservative, with the woman who's feminine and cooperative, whatever. You would fuck up her entire life for one night with these women. And you are thinking that we're not supposed to catch on to that. So it also makes this ripple in the pond to where, hey, women, enjoy your fucking life. Because no matter how good of a woman you are, he gonna fuck it up with a woman he don't want.
To be honest, everybody should. To be honest, everybody should. But I guess I'll try to pull it in with this where I still feel like a lot of the stuff that we're seeing comes from the extreme outsides. And I think most of the people on the inside are can be normal, sane people that can have these conversations. It's like, yo, that ain't right and this ain't right, and can kind of find some middle ground. The problem is too many people let too much of the outside um generate their thoughts on things, and generate how they feel they should actually treat people and stuff like that, when in actuality, just be a good, decent fucking human being. And a lot more people and relationships will work out a lot better just because you're a decent fucking human being. So you
People
ain't
want
got
the
to step out
benefits.
and
They
cheat.
don't want the responsibilities. People
Yeah,
want the benefits. They don't want the responsibilities. That's why they do what they do.
yeah,
Because guess what? If Megan would have been none the wiser about his infidelities, they still be together right now.
yeah. Which is,
So
I'm
you
gonna still say
knew
allegedly.
that this would potentially crumble everything you had with this person and you did it the fuck anyway. you disregarded somebody's individual self-worth thinking that, oh, I'm platonic. Ain't nobody gonna leave me. People gonna deal with the fuck I deal with. Either you take it or you leave it. This is who I am. Da, 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 da. I can't say that's what that man was thinking. However, for you to put yourself in a position to be unfaithful versus just sitting this lady down as an adult, this is not your first girlfriend. This is your first relationship. This is your
Won't
first
be his
bad
last.
bitch. Let's be for real.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Versus sitting this woman down and respecting her choice to be with you or not be with you based on what the fuck you want to do as a grown ass man. Like,
Hmm.
let's be for real. Cheating does not exist when people and parties know where you fucking stand.
Okay.
It's not a fucking real thing. If you can't commit, be fucking single all of your fucking life. Fuck who you want to fuck. Play with who you want to fucking play with. Let them like. In all honesty, is there any man that can say they got an honest piece of pussy that didn't have to lie about nothing?
I mean,
Hey,
yes.
she
Come
knew
on
I just
now.
want to fuck.
Come on now. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But 9 out of 10, the person you just wanted to fuck didn't have all the accolades that a Megan would.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And
let's be for real. Like when it comes down to how you get down and the type of things you want to do with a woman, the caliber of women that's okay with that are not in the same group as the caliber of women who are not okay with that. Yet you want the caliber of women who are not okay
but
with that, and
see,
you have to present yourself a certain type of way to get what you want.
but see,
Period.
I'm not arguing none of what you said. Only thing I'm arguing is in this specific case that maybe Clay did want to settle down, but maybe he got to a, again. To me, I only come
And
back to
I'll
the
give you
point.
that. I'll give you
I
that.
only come back to the
Everybody
point that
grows,
maybe he
everybody
did.
changes.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe
all
he
of that.
did. Yeah,
All of that.
maybe he just got to a point that
But
he
the
was just
moment
like,
that
"Yo,
you
this ain't
knew
gonna be
you
it."
wanted to be with another
God damn.
female is when you should have sat Megan down. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's it. That's it. I'm not
That's
gonna
where you
argue
went
with him
wrong.
about nothing else.
That's where
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
fault. Nobody can fault you if you said to her, hey, I don't know if I commit all the way. I don't know if I can commit all the way. And
yeah,
gave her the choice of continuing to go this journey with you or opting out.
yeah,
That's where fault starts.
yeah, yeah.
That's the thing. You are grown as fuck. How is this lost upon you? Is what I don't understand for a lot of men, not just Clay. A lot of men, a lot of men, including some of my exes. If your feelings change, just say that shit. But again, they're so focused on the benefits of having whatever they want at whatever cost, and they think that they can always recover. One thing I give men credit for is the fact that they don't have a lack mindset, and that's the reason why they do what they do. As a man, there is no lack of bad bitches I can have. Like there
I
is no
remember.
lack.
Yeah, I remember seeing the
Cause,
comedian.
cause
It
Clay
might have
can
been
move
deep.
from Megan to motherfucking Glorilla if he want to. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
I'm
not
just saying,
putting
but
glow
this is
on,
the
but
thing.
I get the argument. Yeah, I mean, hell, he was with the Laura Harrier. I mean, he's been with the actresses and stuff like that before, or whatever, this and
That's
that.
what I'm
So yeah,
saying. So
I
it's
get. It. Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
lack
yeah.
in a black man's, or should I say, a man's
A
mental
a
for bad
man
chicks.
and
There's plethora
well,
of them, and you gonna
yeah. I
run
mean,
through them. And then let's be for real. When it comes down to couples, when it comes down to relationships, as a person who works in the medical field, I'm gonna keep it 100. I can fast forward a lot of life for a lot of men in saying that, hey, at the end of your life, you're going to be sick, you're going to die alone because I've seen it. In my senses of patients, 90%, if not 99, I'm being completely gracious, are men. And the men who are sick that I take care of don't have a wife, don't have the kids he made around him, supporting
mm-hmm,
him, taking care of him. Because again, they care more about legacy than cultivating a family. So these kids, once they get older, know exactly, hey, dad actually was a fuck boy.
mm-hmm.
Like he mistreated my mama. I literally was taking care of a man who was on the phone with his daughter. He said, I'm about to die and you worried about money.
It happens.
So when it comes down to females, I can count on two hands in the years that I've worked where I'm working right now, how many females, actually one hand, how many females I've taken care of. And all of them either had a husband or a child as their support system in the motherfucking room with them. I ain't talking about a phone call away. I'm talking about with them, proximity.
Mhm. Mhm.
So when it comes down to it, you can sit up there and say, "Hey, I'm protecting my peace." I had a patient pass away who had a house and six figures in his savings, but nobody to manage it. Not a
It
significant
happens.
other, not a child to manage his final affairs.
Well, I guess to
So
wrap it up, the
again,
no, go ahead.
a man's health, and I'm not going to even say health, a man's sexual health is limited. A woman's sexual health is not. So while you think you got all of these good, strong moments, and I'm going to say it at that, you got a handful. And then when you got this handful in your 40s, 50s, or whatever, now you want to sit down. I know patients right now that literally pay to eat a girl. Probably was dogging females that wanted to have something serious with them long term. Now you're paying to eat a girl. And then you complain that all these women want is money because that's all you have in the end to offer these people. And not to mention that y'all talk and want to court the young woman to control her. And of course, a young woman is not established like an older woman is. So yeah, all
Yeah.
they do want is the money. But that's a whole nother pot. I ain't gonna even
Yeah,
go
yeah,
into
yeah, yeah,
all of
yeah,
that.
yeah. I just
But
put a note into my phone about something I want to talk about another one, but that's a whole nother one.
mhm.
We got to wrap this one up.
But exactly,
Um,
we do because we've been because the Cavs game's
yeah,
coming
yeah.
on. But no, I mean, I just feel like I'm gonna say this as a black woman, and this is only coming from Eulise. A lot of reason why black women are single is because they want it with a black man. Black women do not easily date out their race at the rate of black men.
I do
We
think there's
never
yeah.
said we don't want our black men. That's just the results of what reality hit for a lot of black women. That you still have to live this life. You still have to rear those children. You still have to make a life that you want, regardless of a man being active, present, or not. Like as a black woman, I'm just waiting for black men to wake up and see our value. That's it.
Okay.
And until they wake up and see our value, I will be single. I have no
And I
problem with that. And I'll be
and I
happy as fuck while I do it. And my best friends will still spoil me the fuck. Like what? If a man ever had competition with Eulise, it was my best friend. It was not another man. Because my best friends literally show up and show out for me.
all right. And I mean I feel like again, I'll end my part with I think there are we just hear the louder voices all the time. Um, and we hear the worst parts of things all the time. And I'm not trying to devalue what some women go through in dealing with
And I
with men.
definitely am not trying to do that with
And
men. Because it happens.
and I was about to say the same thing. And I'm not trying to devalue what happens with men that go through some
Men
things
get
too.
touched, men get disrespected, men all of the things.
Tested
All of
all
the
those.
things.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, there are some toxic women out there who will push a man,
I'm
you
not
know,
blind to it.
and yeah,
Those women
yeah,
do exist.
yeah.
Yes.
But my point is, I feel like the outside, the outskirts, those are the ones that we just hear all the time. Those are the ones that get amplified. Those people in those situations, those scenarios, or whatever. But I truly feel when good people can find good people, it's just tough. Um, do I feel like the dating waters are shitty? Yeah, I really do.
Stay married, my
Just
friend. Stay
you
married.
just seeing
Can I ask
from
you a
what I see
question?
what people talk
Because
about.
since you are married, let me ask you this. Since you are married, when you first started dating Corlicia, was it for leisure or was you like, oh no, I see something with her?
I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. We had this
Okay.
conversation at some point. I didn't know because, especially with us having distance between us, I didn't know. I I
When
I
would you
was
say
just
you did though? How far into it did you know?
we just kept hanging around each other. It just got to a point where it was just like, "Oh, she's here." I mean, I don't think I had, like, just like, a real big aha moment. I know
Mhm.
she gets on my ass because I'll be like I remember thinking at one point when the first time we went out of town together, we only went to Niagara Falls. But I remember I was waking up doing schoolwork, and I remember she was still asleep, and I'm like, "Okay, she's a good woman, and I don't need to mess this up." You know? And I remember having that thought to myself, and I know she gets on my ass because it kinda sounds like it was just like it wasn't that moment of being like, "Okay, I just knew I loved her in that moment." It was just more of a, "Okay, don't mess this up because 'cause you've messed some stuff up before," or whatever. So and I can understand her thought process with that. Um, but I just remember getting to a point of being like, "Okay, not only that, but again, just the fact that we were still just involved because I didn't know. I mean, it was just if we met during I mean, it she had already been watching the show and everything, but it was still COVID. Like it was everything
Okay.
was weird in
Okay.
2020.
Yeah.
Everything was weird in 2020. When we first actually started talking, in January, February of 2020. Um, and so it just everything presented itself in a different way. And I always say that I think that really contributed a lot to us being able to be together because we just met in that weird space. It wasn't like I was just gonna hop in the car, even though I did ultimately go down there at some point. But had it just not been COVID, I mean, shit, who knows? It could have been we could have been talking for a couple of weeks, and I'd be like, I'm gonna come on down there or whatever. But outside of that, we wound up talking for what, a month, 2 months, or something like that before it was even like, all right, but maybe I should make this drive to come down and talk or something, or hang out or something like that. It was different. But I don't know if I just had that the flat out bright lights flashing outside the moment, and I talk about that she really doesn't like me talking about or whatever. But yeah,
But I think
but
that as much as women feel like it should be this perspective, men, because of their need to protect, think about how to keep this thing separated from all of the damage that could come to it. So I think men
I mean, of course,
go into
yeah.
this mental space of protect this thing versus oh, I don't think men have the luxury to look at it the same way women do
Hmm.
because you're always on high alert. You know what I'm saying? And you're always thinking of ways of being preventative versus corrective.
I mean, I get that. I mean, I will say too. Excuse me. But my approach to relationships has always been I don't have asthma, so I don't enter relationships and be like, oh, we're just gonna have fun. So maybe that's
Okay.
another one of the reasons why I didn't have that. Oh my God, that aha moment. You hear these stories sometimes of people like, oh, the first time I saw her, I knew that was gonna be my wife. I mean, I, I, if I'm talking to you, if I'm giving you me and my life, and I'm opening up, and we're dating, and we're talking, then I see something in you that means that we could be together. And so I don't date half ass. I don't date with someone and be like, oh, we was just kicking it. Then we were never really dating. Then we were just kicking it. I mean, we were never dating. We were never serious or whatever. And there's levels to that. But if we're dating, then I see something in you, that something in me something calms me, or talks to me in a sense, at least enough inside of me to be like, all right, we can make this work. But again, with Corlicia, it was just like, with all the shit that was going on, I felt like it was just like somehow we just connected, and we just, again, COVID probably played a big part in the fact that it forced us to talk when people don't talk. In this
That is
day and
true.
age of all we do is
It's
text and
true.
all we do is this. I mean, we had to be creative to find ways to kind of be together at times because we wasn't close, and we both wanted these things. We both wanted to put the work in. We would find ways to make a movie night using the thing between Google where we watching the movie and it was lined up exactly the same, so we were watching the same thing at the same time, or we can be texting and talking about it, or all those things. It was just we put the work in. I think we both kind of realized at some point that okay, this is different for us. I think is the best way to put it. Where it
Have you
wasn't
ever been a
just
type to just have fun with a lady?
yeah, yeah, of course.
Did they know that?
I would think so, yeah. I don't know if I actually just flat out say, okay, because I always look at it like this. If we're not dating and we just kicking it, to me, that's understood. To me, that's understood. If we just,
Have you ever
hey,
had a female disagree with you?
as far as what, that topic there?
Yeah.
No,
Like, "Oh, you didn't tell me this, and that, or whatever," you know what I'm saying? And I felt did you ever have a lady tell you that she was misled by you?
nah,
Do you
nah.
think that that has anything to do with the fact that you was raised by 2 parents?
I don't know because I've seen some stuff, some commentary to that lately about people that come from that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just
Mm.
I feel like it was more so not even just that to be if I'm being 100% honest,
Mhm.
more so than that, it's more so than that it's more so the fact that in the religion I grew up in, growing up Jehovah's Witnesses, being a Jehovah's Witness, it's like you ain't supposed to be having sex, you ain't supposed to be doing this, you ain't supposed to be doing all these different things. So when I actually did come of age, not teenage talking to people, but just being older and dating, it was always like I had the mindset if I'm trying to get married. But that's always been my mindset. I've always known I want to get married.
Okay.
I mean, complete always. So, and I've always been a relationship person. It's not to say I've have not had my fun and I haven't done things or
That's
whatever
that's
that
that's the other part. That's why I'm like, because you could as think about it. You are at what, 40 something years old with no
yeah, I'm
kids. Like
45.
you are literally the ideal bachelor to be out here fucking on and tricking on and doing all of the things that any single man want to do. But for you to have the mindset of commitment always in your back in the back of your mind or whatever,
I
I'm
know,
just
yeah, I
trying to
always
figure
knew it.
out what was that like attributed to?
Yeah, 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 I mean, you could say growing up in a two-parent home was great, which it was. It definitely was. Um, I wouldn't say that that was the biggest thing. To me, it was just the whole mindset of the way I was raised. You
Okay.
know, for me, my brothers may answer differently, but for me, that was just that. I don't.
And mind you, y'all, he's the middle son.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
No
I'm a relation.
sisters, 3 boys.
No, I'm a relationship person. I mean, I
So,
really am.
question, not having any siblings and just having your mom close to you, what was your you know what? We're gonna say this for the next pod because this is about to be game time. So give them all your shits, brainstorm.
Look, not you wrapping up. No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I looked at the time, was like, oh no, we can't because I really want
Well,
to get
well,
into
well.
this
They
because
play at 7:30,
like
but I
I
need to
just
go
want to
eat and
know and pick
everything.
your brain about the fact that you have a different, I guess, outlook on the black female than some other people do. And I want to know
Yeah.
where that comes from because even as a friend, you know, when we went out of town or we did, the pod up there, whatever, like you considered me as a female. And we don't have no type of dealings with each other. There wasn't nothing
Hmm.
that you was trying to gain from your considerations. It was nothing like that, whatever, but you considered me just as a basic female that was in your proximity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well,
I remember the one
I
time, I don't know if it was you, Dev, or Playboy, but it was like I came up there and y'all was like, "Yeah, we got tequila," and I'm the only tequila drinker for real, for real. And it was like, when we went and went to Houston, and just there's different ways in which I was handled by all of y'all. You know what
hmm
I'm saying? It's just like, where does this consideration root from
I don't
when
know.
there's no aspirations to fuck on this lady?
You know what's weird, and again, I put it in my phone, so we'll talk about it on the next one. But it's
Yeah.
weird because the three of us still did have both parents at home to varying degrees. I know
Yeah,
their home life
yeah,
was
yeah,
different than
yeah,
mine.
yeah.
They've talked about them on the pod and all. Both of them have. Um, so I guess the easy thing is to go back and say, well, that was a big impact on it. But I don't know because like like Dev's relationship with his dad, it was different than my relationship with my dad. The same way with Playboy's relationship with his dad is different than mine, and I think that matters more than what it is with the relationship with your mom in a sense. I'm weird with that because I feel
Yeah.
like you take so many of your cues from that man in your life.
Yes.
Um, and so, and I get the people be like, well, so many times people be like, well, how do men treat women this way when they got a mom and they got sisters and they got daughters and stuff like that? I just feel like there's something that happens when you see how the men in your life roll as a man that sticks with you. So it don't matter as much as far as your relationship with your mom and all these things, whatever. It's not to say you don't love your
It's
mom,
an
you don't love your
example of
daughter,
that
your sisters,
man.
whatever. But
I'm glad you said that.
there's something about the way you see that. And Dev has always talked about, like, just talking about the three of us. Dev always talked about how him and his dad would talk about stuff and things like that, and he talked about having older brothers, a substantial amount of years older than him, and how they would talk to him about shit and stuff like that, and James, and a Playboy, and how it was with his dad and how his dad would talk to him and stuff. And it's just like, and I know it doesn't mean it makes us perfect people and things like that. I got flaws, Dev got flaws, Playboy got flaws, whatever. You've been around us long enough to know, just being 100% honest, you probably have had some shit about us, about all three of us. Not to say that we haven't been solid or whatever, this and that, or not for the most part or whatever, but there's shit that's there, whatever, because we're people. It's a relationship, and that's what happens in relationships. People fall out, people this and that, people argue all the time.
Yes.
But again, when you, in this lane of the conversation, again, they've had different reactions or different relationships with different men in their life, and I think sometimes that matters a little bit more than everything else. That's why when you look at these relationships where, or these situations where there's boys and it's their mom, and people be like, oh well, he was only around his mom. That's why it's there's
No,
some
you hit the
credence
nail.
to
You
it.
hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail
There
on the
there's some
head with
yeah
that.
yeah
You
there's
took
some
the
credence to
example
it.
of the man.
Yeah, but there's the part that it's what you see, it's how you walk or how
Yes,
you move, and those
absolutely.
types of things that I think that pits up, and so that's where it becomes important. And it ain't really the fact. Well, it goes hand in hand. It's not just that, oh, a kid was raised by a single mom or something like that. It's not just that, but it's just that there has to be somebody that they can see. How do you handle this situation? It ain't even got to be teaching all the time. Like, you ain't always got to sit down about, hey, this is how you change a tire. I mean, some of this stuff is just trivial stuff that you have to. Hey, this is how you change. I remember taking the mirror outside. Hey, when the battery was there. Hey, this is how you jump a
Yeah,
car. Something like that. But sometimes it's just, you just need to be able to see, this is how that happened in this situation. This is what happened. This is it. There is negative stuff that I seen my dad do that I'm like, yo, I'm never gonna do that when I get older. Even with the positive,
and
because
it's
that's the
like I
example
said,
of a man that I saw.
you hit the nail on the head because if we're being honest, a lot of single mothers don't have men around their kids, so they
Mm,
never get to see. Oh, my mom raised me single, but had this man taking care of her, treating her this and that, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he's doing this and this and that behind the scenes because she doesn't allow you to see everything. 'Cause again, it's adult business. It's stuff that's just not
yeah,
for kids. So,
yeah,
unbeknownst to you, you think that your mom is just doing all this stuff by herself when really a man is helping her, or she's protecting you from how she's trying to figure out life. But again, this is a whole other pod because we're gonna get down
yeah,
this
yeah,
rabbit hole, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
wanted to be I really wanted to be at the start of our pod at the end because this is a really like meaty topic. It
It's a
has a lot of
show.
layers to it.
It's a
Yeah.
show on its own, to be honest. So I
Yes.
put it. We'll tackle that one on the next one. Let's not
Because you're not gonna
promise
yell at me
people.
that we're still on this fucking pod and it's game time.
Oh no, no, no. I need to go
I'm
eat
trying
this
to
food real
avoid
quick.
being in trouble, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll hit this one next when I put it in the phone. That could be the
Mhm.
whole conversation on its own right there. In a
Absolutely.
sense. So all right. So now officially give them all your shits. Trying to rush the end of the
Say,
goddamn
God dang it, it's
podcast.
me.
Yeah,
I'll wrap it up. Well, I'll wrap it up. All right, Captain
yeah.
America. I am Eulise Dickerson on every social media platform. My Facebook is private, but my Instagram is public. So if you are tuning in and you wish to follow me and engage with me, please follow me on Instagram. If you follow me on Facebook, just let me know that you're tuning in from the DMST Pod conversations, and I'll go ahead and add you. I have a couple shows coming up. I have Friday, May 29th, I'll be in Canton. June 20th, right after the pod anniversary in Columbus, I'll be in
Mhm.
Youngstown. And then a little bit, yeah, that's June 20th. June 10th, I'll be in Cincinnati doing comedy. So follow me to keep up with everything. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all to life. And y'all stay blessed, healthy, and wealthy until we meet again.
All right. And then for me, I'm still doing my again my DJ nights. So this week on Tuesday, um God damn it, the Cavs better be playing on Tuesday. But I don't know if I'll be DJing on Tuesday night because of that. If they're playing, we'll find out. I'll find that out later tonight, sometime tomorrow. But outside of that, R&B nights on Tuesday at Bar One is still going on, and then Friday nights at Johnny Malloy's, which is inside to the side of the Geppetto's on Mayfield and South Euclid, is still popping on every single Friday. So pull up on me and have a good time, catch the vibes, and then we'll be back. I guess I'm not. That's we don't even know what's gonna happen. That's not promised next Sunday yet. We'll shoot for next Sunday,
Well, next Sunday
but
is Mother's Day.
oh well, see, yeah. So we're probably not doing it next Sunday then.
I'm not gonna hold you. Not gonna be in the headspace for
Yeah, yeah.
it.
So we looking at a couple weeks down, which is
Yeah.
fine. Well, I mean, honestly, which is
But
fine.
the following Sunday, which I believe is the 17th,
Sounds
I'll be good for the 17th.
that sounds about right to me. Let me just we be saying this stuff sometimes like we don't have phones in our hand that gives us the answer in like 2 seconds. Yeah, the following Sunday is the 17th. Yeah, yep. So that'll work. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it may be cloudy today, but the sun will come out tomorrow. And as long as you are here under the sun, live your life to the best of your motherfucking ability. I'm DJ Brainstorm for you on all social media. DJ Brainstorm, the number 4, the letter.
Yo!
And we will catch y'all on the next one. Eulise, love you. And we will talk
Man, love
soon,
you
y'all.
more,
Peace.
man. Peace. That was a good one. We really